Hey friends, it's UrsulasRevenge and happy Wednesday update day. Except it's not Wednesday, I tricked you, it's still Tuesday. I'm recording this part early because there has been some drama in the Star Stable community. Not real drama, it's not real drama, relax. But basically, in tomorrow's update, or today's update for you, there will be a Trailblazer track, and this Trailblazer track is going to be different than the past Trailblazer tracks. There are some major Trailblazer track changes that I just wanted to talk through and kind of like highlight what these are going to be. Now, I will get into the actual guide on how to do the Trailblazer track later on this video once it's actually Wednesday and I can show you the window and see if the FAQ section has changed at all. So this beginning section, I'm sorry, it's going to be lengthy, is just about the changes to the Trailblazer track. Long story short, these changes came as an announcement on Star Stable's Instagram account in a reel where they basically just told us what these changes are going to be. And I'm just going to summarize it here instead of showing the whole thing. So there are 4 main changes to the Trailblazer track. First, your first 4 activities will now grant you 120 points instead of 100 points. That's fine. Instead of 35 rewards, there will now be 25 rewards. This is fine also because they are mostly just getting rid of some of those filler items, like the 6 different kinds of plants. I'm not sure what else though they're actually getting rid of. All of the clothing and tack is staying, so we will still be getting wearable rewards. And they did specifically mention that appearance change coupons will also be included this time around. Now, for the 2 changes that were the most controversial, there will be no points given after activity number 12. So previously, after your 12th activity, you would get 10 points for every single activity. You will not be getting any points after 12 activities now. And you also will not be getting any points for gatherables. So no points for light, gardening, collecting flowers, or picking up recyclables. No points for that. That used to be 1 point, now it's 0. Now we're going to get into those last 2 items shortly, but first I just kind of wanted to give like an overview of how many points that means we are going to be getting a day. So with 4 120 point activities, 4 80 point activities, and 4 60 point activities, plus your 450 daily points, that's the button at the top, you are going to be getting 1,490 points a day. With 25 rewards, this means that you can finish the Trailblazer track in 16 days. That's a grand total of 23,840 points, which you only need 23,000 points to finish because you don't need the first 1,000 and you don't need to go anywhere past level 25. If you have been around my Trailblazer track guides for a while, you might be familiar with the bare minimum method. This is how I calculate the absolute minimum effort way you can complete the Trailblazer track on time. These new changes are no different from that method. In fact, if you've been using that method, you'll actually complete the track even faster than before because there are less rewards now. Usually it would take 25 out of 28 days to complete the track that way. Now it's only 16 out of 28 days. So if you are a low effort player, you actually need to log in even less now to actually complete the Trailblazer track. That said, if you are not an active player, regardless of how much effort you put in, these changes pretty much exclusively hinder your ability to complete the track in the way that you like to play. Which for many of my friends who play this way, that means you won't be able to log in during bonus points, grind for hours, and then complete the track in 5 days. Full disclosure, as an active player, this doesn't really change the way that I play the game. So as much as I want to stay indifferent, I do understand that this change does affect a lot of the community. Ultimately, and this may be a little harsh or hard to hear, the Trailblazer track is designed to reward the players who log in and play regularly. If you don't want to do that, you just don't get the reward. And I know that sounds harsh, but the Trailblazer as a tool is designed to basically farm player engagement. So they are trying to get like on their little charts and graphs of player activity, they want to see a consistent amount of people logging in at any given time. Ultimately, I think that is why they are making these changes, because it is easier for them to control a range of how active somebody will be, for example. So if they're saying, hey, it's going to be a minimum of 16 days, now they know for 16 days, at least maybe the 16 to like 25-ish days, there's going to be a lot of activity for people who missed a couple of days who are catching up. So for those 16 days, it should be packed servers. I say packed servers, but no server's truly ever packed except for like Nightstar, but you know what I mean. They are trying to find consistent engagement with the game. That is why these changes are happening. That doesn't mean it's a good thing for the community, but I just wanted to at least put that out there that is the baseline. That said, I don't think that punishing players for having a different playstyle is the right move. Personally, I am a little bit bummed out that I won't be seeing the 10 points or the 1 point messaging popping up at the bottom of my screen. Something about it just makes my little goblin brain go feral, and I just need to keep collecting more points. And even though it makes my brain go burr, these changes aren't going to affect the way that I play the Trailblazer track at all. I know a lot of people are concerned and unhappy with this change. I just want to say, at least at time of recording, the change hasn't even happened yet. I think we do all need to go into it with a little bit of an open mind. It feels like a big, scary, bad change now, but we may get into it and realize, oh, it's not really that bad, or I can get used to this. I know it's not ideal, and I know that this is going to affect the way that a lot of people play the game, but there is a possibility that it's not as bad as we all think it is, and I think we just need to give it a shot, go into it with an open mind, and see how different it truly is. Now, all of that neutrality aside, we're going to dive into the social media comments because I really want to highlight how this change can potentially affect Star Stable's player agency. First, and I do want to start with a positive comment, I saw a comment on an Instagram story about how this change will actually help them have a healthier boundary with the game. Not getting that indefinite 10 points will stop that just one more activity mindset that can be kind of detrimental. And I've been there. If I end on 910 points, I simply just cannot. I need to get to at least 950 or some other form of an even number in my head. If I end on 456, well, now I need to go get 4 plants or recyclables, and aiding forbid if my light, Trailblazer points, and horse experience don't all end in a 0. I'll be fixing that for hours. So I totally see this change promoting healthy habits of when to stop playing the game. Second, and this is a direct quote, what happens to earn points just by playing the game? I'll paraphrase the rest, but they do have a point. Eliminating gatherables, mostly gardening and light, is a huge way that players engage with the game. Some people just don't like doing stable chores or racing. The idea of only allowing certain gameplay methods and then adding a cap to those methods does not seem to support the objective of encouraging us to play the game, especially if our preferred methods are not supported. I don't exactly have advice for this one, other than you can still do the things that you like to do, but you just maybe also have to find 12 things you can do quickly just to get it over with. It's not exactly helpful, but I do agree, it sucks that your favorite gameplay method is not applicable anymore. Another really excellent point, and another direct quote, I understand there are people who race through and devote a lot of time to completing this in a short period of time. However, what % of players is that? I also got the feeling that this change maybe was targeted at speedrunners. But even then, if a player decides to speedrun the Trailblazer track, it does not affect other players. Simply put, that is their preferred gameplay style. They're not cheating, so what difference does it make if they're dedicating an insane amount of time to the game at the front of the Trailblazer campaign? I understand that the goal is to have a consistent activity level throughout the campaign, but the players who speedrun it at the start and the ones who speedrun it at the end likely play it that way because they can't be consistently online. I'm not an analyst and I can't see the data, but I'm just not sure if these changes will even have the desired outcome. It's just so odd to me that Star Stable, an open world game with a finite amount of quests, with a large custom content / roleplay community, which use this game as a sandbox, are loudly saying that you have to play our game a specific way. That's just bonkers to me. And for the next one, having the points go to 0 after 12 activities will not motivate me to keep playing. This is another one I agree with, though it doesn't necessarily apply to me. I can keep playing no matter if I'm getting 0 points or if I'm getting 120 points, or if I'm done with the Trailblazer track and I'm not getting any points, I'm going to keep playing, but that's just because I have external motivators to play this game. I do have friends, though, that will only play during Trailblazer track, and if they don't get those points just for doing random activities after the fact, and just because they're hanging out with me and we're just riding our horses and we're training our horses and we're just gaining little points at a time, she'll just log out after she gets 0 points. So in a way, yeah, that does affect me because I want to keep playing games with my friends, and if they don't get points, they won't play with me. Anyways, my tantrum aside, the other thing that this affects is kind of perception of what you are playing within the game, and I have a case study for this. It is silly, but regardless of if there is an active Trailblazer or not, I don't do repeatable races at all, ever, because they don't give Trailblazer points. Even when there's no Trailblazer, it doesn't matter. I just won't play them. No Trailblazer track? Well, I'm not going to get the points. You aren't getting points anyway. Does not matter to me. I will not do repeatable races. Because my perception of repeatable races has been so skewed by my ability to get Trailblazer points from them. I don't know if I'm the only person who feels this way. Does anybody here do the repeatable races if you're not training a horse? I mean, I don't do them regardless. I'll just do other races, but like, I'm very curious. I'm curious if this is an isolated thing that only I have thought about and nobody else is plagued with this thought. But I'm just very curious to know if other people think like I do. But personally for me, I don't do repeatable races because they're not eligible for points during Trailblazer. And I'm kind of thinking, well, what's the point? But to that effect, I can see that happening on a larger scale with some of the other dailies that we do for Trailblazer Track. For example, doing stable tours. I really only do them now if I'm super, super broke or if there's a Trailblazer Track. How long is it going to take before we stop doing races and tours because our perception of doing anything past 12 activities in this game is now tarnished? That's one of my concerns anyway. I could totally see it happening where my perception of doing things in this game is now skewed because after I log in for 15 minutes and I do my things, I don't get any rewards for it. And maybe sometimes I wasn't going to get the rewards anyway. Like obviously when there's no Trailblazer Track, I'm not getting any rewards. But I'm worried that after a point of kind of the game telling me, oh, you don't get anything if you continue playing after about an hour. Like why would I keep playing? Even if there was no Trailblazer Track, you are conditioning me to feel that there is no point in playing the game after a certain amount of time. Anyways, I got a little passionate there for a minute. Ultimately, you get the picture. The main issue with this change is that it does not allow players to play the game the way that they want to. I did find a random response from Star Stable in response to a speedrunner saying that they have more fun completing the Trailblazer Track as fast as possible. And it's kind of bizarre. They say, while we appreciate the grind, we also think sleep is important for our players' health. And to that I say, pardon? Speedrunning does not mean they are not taking care of themselves. It is also not Star Stable's responsibility to set bedtimes for their players. They are alienating a huge part of their community who need the flexibility in when they play. Many have kids, jobs, activities, schoolwork. They may not necessarily be able to log in every day of the week, or maybe they can log in on some days more than other days. But generally, a lot of people have a lot more free time on the weekends that they can dedicate hours and hours and hours to catch up on the Trailblazer Track. Not allowing players to catch up when they are able to 10 to 40 points at a time, players who can manage their own health and wellness, mind you, it feels like they're overstepping. Now I know it's not really about imposing a bedtime, they're just being cheeky, and really it's about controlling player activity so they can show their shareholders activity is consistent. Now there are hundreds and hundreds of comments, and I bet by tomorrow there's going to be thousands that share these sentiments and more that I didn't even get a chance to touch on. At the end of the day, the only way that Star Stable will know if this change was successful or not is if we just keep playing the game as normal. And I know that that sounds like counterintuitive, that you would want to kind of sabotage the results and just not play it, but that really doesn't help the game at all. The only way they'll revert this change is if we just don't engage with it naturally as much as we have past tracks. So I am not saying to boycott, I am not saying to not play the track. They truly just need accurate data to determine if this really does improve activity or if it actually lowers activity like we all think it will. At the end of the day, they are the experts, they have the insight, they have the data, and this may be a calculated risk. Ultimately, as players, we might give this a shot and be like, oh yeah, this is fine, I can just adjust my playstyle and it's really not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Or we can give it a shot, realize it doesn't work for us, and we just naturally don't engage with it because it doesn't fit within our playstyle. And if that does happen and they do see a dip in activity, they'll realize that this change was not successful and they can revert it and kind of go back to either the way that we did it before or find an even better solution. All in all, I really hope that this discussion does not discourage you from playing the game. On the surface, this change is not that big of a deal, but if you dig into it a little bit, there are some definite red and orange flags that I think need to be addressed. I do try to keep things objective here. I know it's no secret that I love this game to pieces, but it's also no secret that I think that they make questionable decisions sometimes. Again, this doesn't really affect or change my playstyle at all, but I did want to at least do my due diligence and inform everyone what the community is saying. So I hope you enjoyed the essay that I wrote for this because I did script this intro. But I think it was really helpful to just, make sure that I got all of the information gathered and together, and I didn't want to misspeak because this is a big deal. I'm sure there is plenty of more that you'll want to say about your thoughts regarding this. Feel free to leave them in the comments. I will do my best to, again, objectively respond to them. But again, keep it constructive and don't just bash Star Stable for the sake of bashing Star Stable, because I'm just not going to respond to your comment. I think it's important to remember that they are trying something new here, and we may not all agree with it, but at the end of the day, whether or not you believe it, they are trying to make the game better, even if their methods are questionable. So with that all said, let's kick it over to present day me to talk about the Trailblazer Track. Oh, hey, look, I'm over here now. Okay, so it is finally the Wednesday update, so let's take a look at the new Trailblazer Track. Oh my god, that's pink. Okay. Flashbang pink alert. Okay, you know what, actually, okay, there's some cute little details that I'm noticing. These little symbols at the bottom, instead of being circles, are flowers now. That's actually really cute. Okay, so let's just go ahead and claim our daily points just right off the bat so I don't forget like I tend to do. And let's take a look at these new rewards. So we are starting off with a Jolly Hoof Treats, which is great because these are not craftable. We have 1 stable care coupon. We've got the saddle, Horseshoes and Mass Blacksmith, also great to keep that around. The leg protectors, the pants, 10 Happy Hoof Treats. Okay, that's actually really good. Yes, they're craftable, but 10 is a lot. And if you didn't know, Happy Hoof Treats do stack. So like if you have a horse that's down 4, you can give them 4 and they will be fully happy. And they're craftable, so I mean, you can always make more. Although I will say sometimes if I've had a horse that is down 3, if I give them 2, they'll be fully happy. So I don't know if it's like 1.5 or if it's like just fully 1. I don't know. But either way, it's nice to get 10. That's actually really great. Appearance change coupon, also great. I don't tend to use these. I still have some of my original ones, but I mean, it's great to have for roleplay purposes so I can become different characters and then just change back without using star coins. We've got the saddlebag, the gloves, our second stable care coupon, the bridle, large jar of wisdom, which again, these ones aren't craftable, just the small ones are. I don't use these, but I know a lot of people do. Beautiful saddle pad. I love this style. It is so pretty. We've got a travel dust, another 10 Happy Hoof Treats, our third stable care coupon, the jacket, shiny gemstone, large jar of wisdom. I should be counting these too. This is only our first shiny gemstone, so it looks like they maybe took some of those out. I want to say last time we maybe got 4, so you are getting a little less shillings. You got the saddlebag. Is this your 4th stable care coupon? Yes. Okay, so we still have the same amount of stable care coupons, which is great. Another Jolly Hoof Treat, which is great, because this is, again, the one you cannot craft that maximizes your horse's happiness. And then we end on the helmet. Where is the saddlebag pet? Was I not... Oh, we're getting the pet early, which is weird. Usually the pet is the capstone, but my bad. On the 9th milestone, we are getting the Springtime Blossom saddlebag pet. And then the 21st is the saddlebag itself. So, interesting. And then your capstone is just topping it off, literally, with the helmet. Okay, I think that this set is really cute. I think that these rewards are improved. I'm glad that we're not getting, like, needless flowers, especially since they are so easy to come by. Especially if you are already gardening or if you just, you know, run around and like to collect flowers. It's really not that hard to get them, so I'm glad that that filler reward is gone. I went back to the Marching Gas one. These stable care coupons are the same. We are still getting 4. We are now getting 2 Jolly Hoof Treats instead of 1. Horseshoes are the same. Large jars of wisdom have gone down from 6 originally to 2 now. Personally, this is a fine change for me because, again, there are plenty of other ways to get horse experience that I just don't use large jars of wisdom. I have a limited amount of horses to train. I don't really want to not get the experience to train them by using a jar of wisdom. It's obviously great if people have a lot of horses that they need to train and they just want to chip away at some of them. So yes, I could see that being a downside, but personally, I definitely didn't need 6. The other change is that we previously got 3 shiny gemstones in the last Trailblazer Track, and we are only getting 1 now. This is a little disappointing only because they are a great way to bank. I wish, and I've talked about this with my friend Apple all the time, I wish there was a way that we could convert our max shillings, or like even just 1,000 shillings at a time, instead of buying something if we're not like don't want to, if we want to wait for an event. We could just buy shiny gemstones for 1,000 each and then exchange them later. Like, I don't know if like I know the notary already has a job, but like I feel like there should be like a bank teller somewhere in the world that will convert 1,000 of your shillings into a shiny gemstone that you can sell later. Anyways, I think if we can't raise the shilling cap, I think that would be a great solution instead. Travel dust, we are still getting 1 travel dust, which we got last time. And then the additional difference is that instead of flax, we are getting 20 happy hoof treats and 1 appearance change coupon. And then we've got like 10 less rewards to go after. So those are the changes in the rewards. I think that this change is good. I think that these items are much more worth it to me. Even though we are getting less shiny gemstones, I mean, there are plenty of other ways to make shillings in the game. You obviously have light, you have fossils and archaeology, and you have just like doing your races and grinding shillings that way. I think that the rewards are a really nice change. Now let's talk about what is new in this question mark menu. So I expect the FAQ section to have changed because of the changes we talked about yesterday. Okay, so activities are defined as quests, races, championships, caring for your horses, progress in collections, or completion of achievements. So those are all the same. I want to go find one of Arissa's dolls and double check the collections, because I saw somebody say yesterday that collections don't count, but I'm pretty sure they did last time. They also include other types of gameplay, such as finding trapped satchels in hollow woods or carving ice sculptures during the Winter Festival. You still didn't remove the ice sculpture thing? There are no more ice sculptures in the Winter Festival. You updated this menu. I mean, I'm assuming you updated this menu. I guess maybe this page you left alone. But, I mean, they're still saying that trapped satchels in hollow woods, for some reason carving ice sculptures, still also counts as activity. So, I'm guessing finding your wisps, doing your other puzzles in hollow woods, should both still work. Do some activities reward more points than others? All activities are equal in point value. The number of activities you complete in a day determines the points. So yes, again, your first 4 activities will get you 120 points. Your next 5 to 8 activities will get you 80 points. The next 9 to 12 activities will get you 60 points. And again, anything you do after that will not reward points this time around. Now, there's only 1 page left. We know that it's not gatherable, so I'm wondering if they're still going to include bonus points. Bonus Trail Point days! Okay. So it looks like they are still going to do bonus trail point days, which means that I will do the math. But it does mean that people who maybe miss a couple days will still have an opportunity to catch up. It's not going to be perfect. You still will have to log in more than just the last week to complete the Trailblazer track, but at least this is somewhat helpful. Let me do the math real quick. So during bonus trail point days, your first 4 activities will get you 150 points each, your next 4 activities will get you 110 points each, and your last 4 activities will get you 90 points each. So when you kind of do the multiplication for how many points you get per day, originally without bonus trail points you were getting 1,490 points a day, but during bonus point days you're going to be getting a total of 1,850 points a day. So that will be an increase of 360 points per day. So I mean, so it does help. I'm not sure how many days this will take off, because again, it really does depend on when they decide to implement the bonus point days. I don't know if they're going to start implementing them after the first 16 days to make that the minimum time that you need to complete it, because then I don't know why they would kind of say that that would be the minimum time if it wasn't the minimum time. So if I had to guess, there will probably be 1 bonus point day after the first 16 days. So I don't think they're going to do bonus trail point days within the first 2 weeks anymore. But that is just my assumption based off of the video they put out yesterday. And because my gut feeling about this change is to keep more consistent activity, I feel like they're not going to do bonus trail points in the first 16 days, but you never know. I could be wrong. I don't have any idea what they're doing or why. Just assumptions. I'm just pausing to add here. Normally for my Trailblazer Track videos, I try to give you a guide about how to complete them faster or what to do. But there really is no guide anymore. There's no like tips and tricks I can give you. The only thing I can genuinely say is that you have to log in for at least 16 days to get all of the rewards. So there really is no like bare minimum anymore, because the bare minimum is now what you have to do. There's no other way to complete the Trailblazer track because you can't get any extra points. You either do or don't get enough points during the length of the Trailblazer track. They say 16 is the minimum, obviously the maximum is 28 days because this Trailblazer Track ends on April 1st, so you have until March 31st to complete the Trailblazer Track. But ultimately, if you wait until the last week, there's just no way to complete it, unfortunately. I'm sorry to say. So I guess my advice for people who maybe can't log on every day, or at least play for long times every day, I think you just kind of have to find 12 activities you can do very quickly and then log out, and just kind of try and make the time to log in for 5 minutes and log out. I mean, there's no way around it. This is designed to reward players who do log in daily. And if you're not able to, unfortunately, that just means you don't get the rewards. So don't really have a guide for you this time, but that's kind of just the way it is with this change. Notify when you earn trail points? What does that mean? Does that mean that I'm not getting the thing at the bottom of my screen? Hold on. I wanna know if that being off means that I don't get the little thing at the bottom of my screen. I know I'm zoomed out. I did dressage yesterday. I quickly need to do my stable chores. All right, Judy, let's see. Okay, so I have it at the bottom. Pretty color. Very cute. What happens when I click that on? Back to settings. Notify when you'll earn trail points. Let's turn that on and see what happens. Nothing changed. Okay. All right, then. All right, since I'm testing things out. Yeah, collections still count. I don't know what that comment was about. Anyway, that's ultimately all I really wanted to say about the Trailblazer Track. If you are already an active player, this really is no different for you. You just don't get to grind the extra 10 points after every activity. If you are a player that needed that flexibility to grind on the last week, unfortunately this does affect you, and this also affects you if you are somebody who exclusively gardens or does collectibles to get through Trailblazer. Again, I am sorry that the way that you play is no longer seen as valid for the Trailblazer Track. That does suck. That still sucks, but at the very least, just doing those 12 activities doesn't take more than 5 to 10 minutes, especially if you find a really good route of things that you would like to do. For me, I do still think Hollow Woods is a great place to do your Trailblazer dailies because you have the 5 match the symbols, which I do daily to get light anyway. You've got the 3 stable chores there. While you're running to the different runestones, you do cross the path of multiple wisp spawn locations. I have no idea how hard it was for me to say that. So you can collect wisps along the way as well. If you haven't done your soul riding with Rhiannon and you haven't gotten your rune runner, you can put those in your daily rotation as well. Those do obviously take a little bit longer, but that is another 5 activities for you. Even if you just do the 3 that are in the paddock, that still makes a dent. Actually, yeah, if you do the 5 runestones, you collect 1 lonely wisp. What did I say? 5 runestones, 3 stable chores, 1 wisp, and literally the 3 soul riding with Rhiannons that are in the paddock that you don't have to do, not the missions, just the regular trainings. That's 12 activities and you don't even have to leave Valedale. So is it going to take a little bit more time? Yes, but maybe you'll also find that there are some dailies that you don't mind doing that you actually really like doing. So I'm trying to find a silver lining here. Anyways, that's not all for this update because we have some outfits to talk about. So over in the global shop, and these are also available at Starshine Ranch, we have 2 new outfits, and they are great if you love cow print. We have the Iris set and the Magnolia set. These are cute. I really do like this saddlebag a lot with the cow print. I think it's really, really cute. I also am inexplicably kind of obsessed with these pants. I think they're so cute. I'm not even like a Western girly, but I think that this is adorable. This little lace detail in there is really, really cute. I love this jacket. It's like the birthday jacket, just without the patches. And it's got like a cute little fur-lined collar. I will be getting this. This is on my list. It is so cute. Also, like, you can't be mad at a cow print cowboy hat. This might be my favorite cowboy hat. Right now I have a black one with a skull that I use. I think it's part of one of the Halloween sets, I think. I might be getting this cow print one because it's cute. Anyways, those are permanent in the global shop, but you can also find them at Starshine Ranch. There is one more clothing related news thing to kind of talk about today, and that is because it is the first update in March, which means we have a new item in the bonus shop. This time we have the Texas Turquoise boots. So as a reminder, this is the bonus shop, it is available for all lifetime subscribers to Star Rider. You get a free item in the bonus shop every month, and every year each piece belongs to a specific set. So this year we are getting the Texas Turquoise set, which I believe the entire outfit set has been released in spoiler content now. But this time around we have the boots. They're cute. Like I said, not really a Western person, and even though I do like the pants and I do like the shirt, boots are probably not going to get that much wear from me, unless like I decide to get like those turquoise like skinny chaps that they came out with last year. I can't remember if they're permanent or if they are Camp Western. For some reason, all of those had turquoise on them, so they're a little hard to match with, but I know that they also had... Do they have boots that go along with them? I don't know. I think there's just a single pair of turquoise boots that could go along with them. But either way, I guess these would go with them. So if you got those, consider pairing these boots with those. So that is it for the news post. However, there is one more thing to talk about because apparently a couple days ago they released an information article on the news page. And this one is regarding player safety, and I read through it, and basically it is just a reminder. I'll read through it again to make sure that, everybody's aware. But this is regarding third-party tools, which are often cheats. Using any unauthorized third-party tool to connect your game or Star Stable account is against our terms of service. Not only do they violate our terms, but they also pose a serious risk to players, their accounts, and the community we love. Account security. Some tools require sharing sensitive account information, putting players at risk of account theft or loss. Safety concerns. Downloading unauthorized programs can lead to unsafe software that compromises your personal security. And game stability. These modifications can break the game, not just for the account owner, but for everyone they interact with, ruining the experience for all players. The good news is, reshade and accessibility tools are still perfectly fine to use. What to look out for. Be wary of accounts or creators that offer to sell or distribute game modifications. The best way to protect your account and personal information is to avoid these services entirely. A fun and fair game. We want everyone to have a magical time while they're adventuring in Jorvik. Third-party tools can take away from the fairness that makes Star Stable special for everyone. In terms of service. To keep things fair, we maintain a zero-tolerance policy towards unauthorized modifications and will take action on accounts that use them. We are so grateful for your passion and for helping us keep SSO a safe, fair, and fun game for everyone. So basically, this is just a reminder that using third-party services such as like Star Stable cheats, basically giving your account information over to somebody who will put a modification on your account, install like cheating software, or give you free items is completely against the terms of service because you cannot share your account information to somebody else. Like this article says, it is completely unsafe for you to do so, and a lot of the times when this happens, players lose their accounts, either because they are stolen or because they are banned. So just don't use third-party cheats, tools, or modifications that are not approved. Again, reshade and accessibility tools are still perfectly fine to use. This is more so the ones that are adding cheats into the game, giving you free items, or like, I guess making it easier to like glitch the game. So don't install these tools. Certainly don't pay for somebody to do it, because you are risking being able to play Star Stable at all. Ultimately, that is it for today's update. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another video like this. I do try to cover every Wednesday update and more. Next week, we have the Swedish Warm Blood being added to the game, which is very exciting. Best of luck with your Trailblazer tracks, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!